And welcome back to Let's Play Silent Hill 3. Last time, we beat the game, and we unlocked a slew of extras for New Game Plus. Now this video is going to be pretty heavily edited down as I go through all of the New Game Plus changes. Also, it's identified as Extra New Game in this game. Is basically going to involve me having to replay half the game in order to show off everything. And let me see, what was I trying to think of saying here? It's also going to require that I refight the final boss, but I've already set up everything to show off everything that there is to care about. First thing, of course, I wanted to go over is the extra costume menu. This is unlocked for beating the game for the first time, and basically you just type in a code, and if it is a properly recognized code by the game, you will unlock a new costume for Heather, which we'll be showing off all of those. I've already unlocked all of them, and I have legitimately gotten the 2 codes for completing the game on Extreme X, as well as completing the game with a 10-star ranking, so if you are interested in seeing that, the Extreme X, I have a VOD from a stream that I did of me completing the mode. It's not anything too interesting, and I'll also be uploading a 10-star run after this video, same as I did for my previous Let's Plays. Now, that all aside, you may be wondering, how do you get codes? Some of them are gotten through in-game accomplishments, but a lot of them were promotional codes, either in the official website, which obviously is long since defunct for Silent Hill 3, the official Brady Games guide, and many of them were distributed through gaming magazines and publications. These codes, it is worth to note, do not actually work in the PC version. For whatever reason, they removed the gaming magazine costumes. Possibly just the promotional deal expired, but I'm not sure how much of a delay there was between the PS2 and the PC version. I know it's not that much. Who knows what their reasoning was for removing those. That's neither here nor there, though. Going over extra New Game proper, one thing that we can do just to start is up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, which of course is circle, square. We're going to play on normal just to keep things simple on myself and go hard riddle level, but hey, what was that noise? But something to note about starting an extra new game, much like loading a Next Fear file in the original Silent Hill, as soon as the game loads, of course, you skip the opening dream sequence and just right into the action. Another nice little callback there. Now, had I entered a code and unlocked a costume, Heather would be wearing that costume. So we're here in the cutscene with Douglas, and it's just me, or does Douglas look a little different from what we can see of him? I'm sure it's nothing, but yeah, so don't have to do the pointless dream sequence anymore where you can't even get anything for doing it. You don't have to throw yourself into a pit anymore. You can just get straight into the action. And like I said, if you had entered a valid costume code, Heather would be wearing the costume that you just unlocked. Sadly, that kind of thing never applies when doing another playthrough. She's just always going to be wearing the default outfit if you didn't unlock a costume. But it's not really any big deal. It would be kind of cool if it remembered which costume you were wearing in the previous playthrough. With all that rambling aside, Heather's not the only one who gets a new costume. So, yeah, I don't know, like, something just doesn't seem to be right about Douglas. Oh, goodness gracious, Douglas, please! Have some decency, my good man. But yes, if you input the Konami code, then Douglas will appear in the cutscenes in just his boxers and his trench coat. Not really a man with much shame, it seems. Now, you may notice something a little weird here. Heather has that weird glyph just floating around her head. This is the indication that you've unlocked a special bonus weapon. The way this weapon is unlocked is across however many playthroughs it takes, you need to get a total of 333 enemy kills. In any method, including using unlockable New Game Plus weapons, is totally fine if that's how you do it. What is this new weapon? Well, we can't use it until we actually leave the bathroom, but if we head out into the alleyway, right away we'll be able to use it up. We will be able to use the Heza Beam, or the Heather Beam. But yes, these are mind beams that Heather is capable of launching now. These are fueled by her stamina. Now, the Heather Beam on its own is not too impressive, but it actually is affected by one of the bonus costumes in the game, specifically the Transform costume. You get this by entering the code Princess Heart, and when you equip it,
Sexy beam shupatsu.
So yes, after that magical girl transformation, the Heather Beam is upgraded. It is now the Sexy Beam, and it is much, much more powerful than the Heather Beam. And honestly, you really do kind of want this for getting the ending tied to killing enemies with either the Heather Beam or the Sexy Beam, as the Sexy Beam is just way better. Now, this leads into my next point. The Heather Beam and Sexy Beam are fueled by your stamina. So how can you know if you're about to run out? Well, when you beat the game for the first time and you're playing on an extra new game, you unlock Life Display. This, allows you to see your health in normal gameplay with a UI element, as well as Heather's stamina. Additionally, like the previous games, you can unlock Bullet Adjust. Bullet Adjust, simply, every time you clear the game, you unlock a new level up to level 5, giving you 5 times the amount of bullets you would normally get. So you get 50 handgun bullets, you get 30 shotgun shells per pickup. Now let me see, it was, let's see, 32, 5... what is that? 162 submachine gun bullet? No, that's right. No, 160 submachine gun bullets per pickup. So sorry, I'm just like a little out of it, so my mental math is a little bit off. But let's leave those settings on. And now, we can actually see our health as well as our stamina. Now, for what we're about to do with the Sexy Beam, I highly recommend that you play on either normal or hard mode and not extreme mode. There is an ending tied to killing... I've read that it's 30 enemies, but I'm not sure if that figure is accurate. But whatever the case, you need to kill a lot of enemies with the Sexy Beam in order to unlock a special ending. And we will be seeing that ending in this video, as well as the alternative bad ending to the game. Now, both the Sexy Beam tied ending and the bad ending of the game can only be gotten in Extra New Game, and I'll be going over the other ending we can get when it becomes relevant. To start off, though, we do have another New Game Plus weapon over here. Inside these crates is the Unlimited Submachine Gun. You get this weapon if you kill the final boss with an attack from a melee weapon, which if you followed the strategy I did and just don't miss any katana stabs, that is what you will get. The Unlimited Submachine Gun is easily the best New Game Plus weapon, and this is a great way for just grinding out extra playthroughs to unlock more Bullet Adjust for when you want to take on a 10-star challenge, or you just want to farm out kills for unlocking the Heather Beam and Sexy Beam. I'll be going over the various other things we can grab along the way, and I'm going to be killing a lot of things with the Sexy Beam. One thing that is nice about the joke ending that we get from killing things with the Sexy Beam is that it ends the game prematurely at around the halfway mark, so that should be very nice for us. Allow me to get through this very quickly. I'm going to meet you when we get to the next bit of New Game Plus content. Alright, so here we are on the mall balcony, so let's take this opportunity to show off the Sexy Beam in action. Oh, whoa. Okay, that was lucky. As you can see, it roots you in place, and it's not super fast, but once you start getting a large salvo of shots going on the enemy, it kills them in pretty short order. Those orbs that are shooting out of Heather's head, those actually bounce off the terrain, and you can kind of like bounce them off the floor into enemies and stuff, or just, you know, stare directly at them and let the orbs hit. Let me see, where is the other closer? Now, like I said, the Sexy Beam is fueled by your stamina, so it can run out pretty quickly, and it's not super great against extra durable enemies like these closers, but it is still not terrible at killing them either. Main thing is, we just have to sort of catch them unaware, and where the heck is it? We have to catch them unaware. Oh my goodness, it was like running the complete opposite way that I was. Okay, so let's do this. Now, the nice thing about the wave beams is that they hone in on the enemy. As you can see, about 3 salvos, that'll take care of the closer for us. I would not recommend really fighting closers to grind out Sexy Beam kills, just because they are pretty durable and the Sexy Beam doesn't kill them super fast. But, you know, I just wanted to show it off against a good thing to demonstrate it. Now, inside this bakery, Helen's Bakery, we get our next New Game Plus weapon, the Flamethrower. And this memo underneath it gets a slight modification. Crispy Toasted Dead, right to your very door. Everything on sale. Helen's Bakery. Man, I could buy some Dead. But yes, the Flamethrower is actually a pretty terrible New Game Plus weapon. Now, I've read that it gets upgraded when you complete a 10-star run, but I've honestly never really noticed how much of an effect it has. Let's just take a look at it, because I'm not really going to bother using it on an enemy. Just has a quick start, a short startup, and then your flames go out. And allegedly, it gets stronger and the distance increases when you get a 10-star clear. But as I've said, I haven't really noticed any super effect it has. It also kind of pushes enemies back, so it kills things really, really slowly, honestly. I'm not a fan of it, not really a great reward. It's definitely no Hyper Blaster, and it isn't even a Hyper Spray, because at least that becomes really good when you get a 10-star clear. Incidentally, the next New Game Plus weapon is right here. What a weird doorknob. I bet it could take it off. And we get the Beam Saber. This is another terrible New Game Plus weapon. Just real quick, to reiterate the unlock requirements for these, the Flamethrower, you need to finish a game with having more shooting kills than fighting kills, which is not very likely on your first playthrough. Much more likely you're going to have more fighting kills than shooting kills, in which case you get the Beam Saber. Again, this is another weapon that allegedly becomes better when you get a 10-star run. I've read that it gets increased range, but again, I have not really noticed that. Doesn't seem to get increased damage either, so again, I'm not a fan of it. Both of these are pretty terrible. But those are not the last of the New Game Plus weapons that we can get. There are two more, and they are also pretty bad, but they're a little bit later in the game, so I will cut ahead to when we get to the next point of interest. Alright, here we are in the flashlight room, and I thought since this is a nice bright room, this would be a good opportunity to show off the other costumes. Now, your costumes are organized by the Silent Hill originals to the far right next to, or rather to the left of your inventory items, and then to the right of your inventory items is Princess Heart and the Game Magazine costumes. Now, all of the costumes, aside from Princess Heart, do a pretty similar thing to Heather. They give her a change of clothes into jeans, some wristbands, and a tank top. And this is the same pattern that every costume follows. They're all pretty similar in that regard, but as you can see, there are some pretty cool-looking graphics on here, and once we get to the PSM shirt, we're back around to the Silent Hill original shirts. This shirt right here is Golden Rooster. It is unlocked by getting a 10-star ranking. The password is Cockadoodle-Doo. Cockadoodle, or rather Doodle, is spelled with 3 O's, which threw me for a loop and caused me to have to look up the password when I got it, because I couldn't remember that. Royal Flush is gotten by solving a completely ridiculous puzzle in the library that is added after the game is completed and you're playing on Extra New Game. Basically, certain bookshelves will give you pieces of a riddle. Now, I'm not going to actually go back and show you where those pieces of the riddle are. I'm just going to post the riddle in the comment section below so you can see what it is. It is really ridiculous and ridiculously hard to solve, but if you can puzzle it out, you can input the code that you get from it and get this shirt. Let me see. I think Blockhead is a promotional code from the game guide or the website. Ditto for the light. This one, God of Thunder, has probably the most pronounced of the tank top costumes effects. You equip this one, and as you can see, Heather gets a bit of an extreme makeover with a new hair color. It's very hard to see outside of cutscenes, but her eyes are blue and she has a little cut on her cheek. And it looks like she's got like some pretty serious tats running up and down her arms, and her jeans are extremely washed out. Pretty cool looking costume. You get this costume for completing Extreme X. Let's see, I think the Blue Robbie wins. This is one of my favorite shirts. This one is another promotional code shirt. Let's see, Ditto for Transients. Onsen, I believe, is also one. Don't Touch is a code you can find within the game. This one is Heather is just you get for beating the game the first time, and Zipper, I forget where you find this one. Or actually, I think Blockhead might be tied to beating the game with, like, less than 10 kills. Whatever the case, I'm not going to be wearing any of these for this playthrough because I need to get the ending from using Sexy Beam. So, back into Princess Heart. Oh, cutscene plays again. We're just going to ignore that right now. Alright, meet you at the next point of interest. Alright, we're cutting ahead quite a bit to the underpass, because there are actually two changes in an extra new game here. One that is right at the beginning, and another that is right at the end.
Great. adventure is waiting for you ahead. Hurry onward, Heather Mason, or soon you will be dead. The tunnel before you is filled with damage over time, but you must escape the underpass to leave the subway line. Heather Mason! 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 Mother of God.
Now, it was not obvious because I'm playing on normal mode, but on hard mode, that hallway actually does damage over time to Heather. And very frustratingly, the damage dealt by that hallway actually is factored into your ranking. So, when doing a 10-star run, you do actually want to make sure you take as little damage as possible until you get to that hallway specifically, because you're going to eat some guaranteed damage there, and it's best to just do any healing in the early game after you get to that hallway. So, of course, that means you have to optimize your playthrough of the mall quite a bit to avoid as much damage as possible. Not the worst thing in the world, though, but it is pretty frustrating. Alright, the next thing, as I said, is at the end of the underpass, so I'll meet you there. So this is something that I actually did not know. If you are walking forward and use the sexy beam, you instead get eye beams. I have literally never realized this. That is interesting to me. I did not realize there was an alt fire like this. And honestly, it might be better against certain things. I'm gonna have to test this out. Anyways, I just wanted to show that off because I actually did not know that. Alright, be right back. Alright, so here we are at the end of the underpass after we flash-fried the sewer monster, and if you interact with the pool on an extra new game, you get the option, for whatever reason, to drop your steel pipe into the water. Nothing indicates that you can do this, you just have to press X after frying the monster, and you will get this prompt.
What was it that you dropped? Was it this precious gold pipe?
And in a very, very random moment, we get the time-old gold axe, silver axe, what was it, like Fable? Whatever the case. If you know this story, you gotta say no to the gold pipe, or axe,
Well then, was it this magnificent silver pipe?
and say no to the silver,
Perhaps it was only this filthy steel pipe that you dropped.
and be affirmative that yes, I in fact only dropped a crappy steel pipe.
I have finally found a truly honest man. In return, I will give you both the gold pipe and the silver pipe to keep.
And then she's gone, and Heather has absolutely no comment on what just happened there. Now, we have the gold pipe and the silver pipe. What do these do? They're actually just functionally identical to the steel pipe. They just look really fancy. So yes, you get two special weapons that do not actually do anything better than the weapon that you could have potentially lost in order to get them. And if you lie to the water spirit, then she will just take your steel pipe and the gold pipe and silver pipe, leaving you with nothing and also leaving you rather sad. I'm not sure if her identifying Heather as a man is supposed to be some kind of fourth wall break, or if Heather has undiagnosed gender dysphoria, but let's not get too deep into that, I suppose. That's neither here nor there. Let's continue on to the next point of interest, which will be the end of the game. Alright, so here we are at Heather's apartment. Now, if you've been using the Heather beam or the sexy beam pretty consistently since the start of the game, and you've been killing if you've killed a certain number of enemies with it by the time you've reached this point, as soon as you enter Heather's apartment, you'll get an alternate cutscene that ends the game. Now, the figure I've read is that you need to kill at least 30 enemies with the Heather beam or the sexy beam in order to trigger this cutscene. I, on a test run, killed 35 or so enemies, and I did not trigger the ending, so I'm not sure if that figure is accurate, or maybe I just miscounted. Whatever the case, I'd highly recommend that if you're going for this ending, just kill anything you come across with the sexy beam, unless it's a serious hazard to your health, which is also part of the reason I went on normal mode, just so I could more easily kill things as I progress through the game. With that all said and done, let's enter the apartment.
I'm home, Dad. Listen, something crazy is going on.
Cheryl, you're back. What happened?
Well, it's like this. And that's about it.
Oh, my poor little Cheryl. I can't believe that. I'm going to Silent Hill, and I'm gonna bust some heads.
Oh, Dad, you're the coolest!
さあ良い子のみんな集まれ良い子のみんなそろそろ UFO インディングとか飽きちゃってんじゃないのかい？よーし、みんな素直だ。素直が一番成長するぞ。それじゃあそんな成長期のみんなでサイレントヒルの歌を歌おうかな。よーし、いくよ。ワン、ツー、ワン、ツー、ゴー、ナナ。シェイク、ヨーメン、ヨー、ヨー、ヨー、シェイク、シェイク、シェイク、ヨー。サイレントヒルの歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。じゃあまずはクローディアの歌ね。みんなは歌わなくていいよ。クローディア、本当は優しいおばさんだ。お菓子とか買ってくれるし、お年玉くれるし。だけどね、怒ると怖い。サイレントヒルの歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。次はヴィンセントいくよ。ヴィンセント、本当優しい親思い。横断歩道でおばあさんの手とか引いてるし。だけどね、わがままだよ。
でも偉いじゃん、おばあちゃん引いたんだ。
サイレントヒルの歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。それはダグラス。本当は探偵じゃないんだ。朝とかやたら早いし、磯の香りするし。それはね、魚屋さんだから。カンパチやすいよ。
カツオください。
じゃあ最後にヘザーね。ヘザー、本当はバツイチ2児の母。育児とか大変だし、パートも行けないといけないし。だってさ、ヤンママだからなめんなやって感じ。 silent hillの歌みんなで歌おうみんなでみんなで歌いましょう Silent Hill の歌みんなで歌おうみんなでみんなで歌いましょう
And with that delightful little song that revealed a lot of information about the characters that we never would have picked up on just by playing the game normally, we have gotten the UFO ending. The final UFO ending of the Team Silent games, the UFO-verse, has been completed. As you saw, both Harry and James were there, and Silent Hill is no more, so good ending for everyone all around. Now, something that I'd just like to show off here, although I will get a chance to later, is that you get your rank reduced for using extra weapons in New Game Plus. Now, contrary to popular belief, this does not gradually increase. You just get a flat 1-star reduction to your rank if you happen to use any extra weapons. So this is like, it would just be redundant if it gave a gradually decreasing rank, because it's 10 stars or bust in Silent Hill 3. There's no benefit for getting anything less than a 10-star rating. Also, obviously, Revenge, it cuts the game short at the halfway point, so you only get a clear time for the Split Worm, obviously have killed very few enemies, and the majority of which, you know, you've killed by way of the Heather Beam, so really, this is not a good way to get a 10-star ranking, as you can imagine. Probably they were less than satisfied with people using the dog ending or the UFO ending in the previous game to completely bypass the final boss, so what can you do? But there is one more ending of Silent Hill 3 for us to get. I'm not going to bother saving this clear data, it doesn't matter for anything, but there is another ending. Like I said, the 2 additional endings in the game only attainable on Extra New Game. They kind of dialed back on the endings in this game. This one's a bit more complicated. Now, I've made a couple saves for the purposes of getting this one. Let me see. Where is the other save that I made for this? Where the heck is the save I made for this? Because I know I made one. Oh, am I too far up? Okay, yes, I'm too far up, so let me see. It should be, yes, this one, the Extreme 9 file. First order of business, though, is that we're going to load a file that I made in the chapel. Now, whenever you're playing Extra New Game, a new hidden counter is added to the game that is slowly incrementing as you are playing. I like to call this the darkness counter, and the points on it darkness points. Now, you get darkness points by either killing enemies, taking damage, or a certain other thing affects it. For every point of damage that you get 1 darkness point. For every enemy that you kill, you get 10 darkness points. You need a maximum, or a minimum rather, of 4,000 darkness points in order to get an alternative ending when you kill the final boss, the God. Now obviously, to get 4,000 darkness points, that is quite the endeavor, because you either have to kill 400 enemies, take 4,000 points of damage, or some happy combination of the two. Not exactly the easiest thing in the world on Extreme Mode, where you do not have a good supply of healing items, and they are generally less effective because your HP cap is halved. However, there is one other thing that gives you a generous amount of darkness points that pretty heavily reduces the amount that you need in order to get the required amount for the ending that we're shooting for. The Church Confessional. On a repeat playthrough, you will get darkness points depending on the answer you deliver here. Now, we can just skip the initial cutscene and get to the moment where we're given the choice. Now, what gives you the darkness points? Is it not saying anything? No, that's too obvious. You gotta say, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
Thank you, Lord.
Now, when you elect to forgive that woman, you get 1,000 darkness points, meaning that either cuts out 100 enemies you need to kill, or cuts out 1,000 points of damage that you need to take. Now, why do you get darkness points for forgiving that woman? There's a handful of theories on why. One of the more common ones is that by absolving this woman of her sins, Heather is attempting to take the place of God, which is obviously no bueno considering her mission statement. Alternatively, the woman is trying to seek forgiveness for taking revenge on another for a death that happened because of her. And if Heather forgives this woman, she's sending the message that revenge is okay, and is essentially trying to justify to herself that killing Claudia for killing her father is completely okay. Alternatively, I've also seen it theorized that the woman in the confessional is analogous to Dahlia, and what she is talking about is analogous to what happened to Alessa and Cheryl. I'm not too sure on which of these is supposed to be the correct one. Regardless, forgiving the woman is not really good given Heather's situation and mission statement, so you get darkness points for it. Now, we're going to go back to the menu here, just do a quick reset, and we're going to load up a file that I made after this, right before the final boss in Alessa's room, and we have the requisite number of darkness points at this point in the game in order to get the alternative ending. Of course, this means I have to kill the final boss, so I'm just going to take care of that off screen and meet you once we have successfully killed it. Alright, so after getting the killing blow on the final boss, the post-boss cutscene is going to play out the same as if you got a normal ending. Also, I got quite a bit of damage on me from that fight because I was doing bad, which is good for the purposes of securing this ending, just in case I didn't kill enough enemies along the way. But like I said, the scene is going to play out like normal. However, after the normal dialogue plays and it cuts to the next scene, it's going to be a little bit different, so pay close attention.
Is that the end? I guess it's time to roll the credits.
So, if you finish the game with 4,000 dark points or greater, Heather's little joke at the end of the normal ending is no longer a joke. Douglas is dead, and Heather is presumably forever gone, giving a pretty bitter end to the game. Fortunately, you cannot get this ending on your first playthrough, and you have to go pretty far out of your way to get it, so if you don't like this ending, do not worry. Now, this ending does actually count for the purposes of getting a 10-star rank, but because of the rather strict requirements for getting it, requiring you to kill way more enemies than you normally would need to, since obviously you cannot contribute to your dark points via damage, it's not really practical, so any 10-star run is almost certainly going to be with the normal ending. I don't know if anybody's ever gone out of their way to get the possessed ending for it. There's not really any reason to do so. It is more doable on the PC version, where there is a respawn exploit where you could just kill the 300 enemies there and get it, but again, there's not really that much reason to do it. So that is where Silent Hill 3 ends. Of course, I still have to upload the 10-star run, but that should be shortly after the conclusion and upload of this recording, and of course, if you're watching in the future, it'll already be there right in the playlist for you, so if you are interested in seeing that, check it out. My 10-star runs are always non-commentated and just have a little commentated breakdown of the requirements for getting 10 stars at the end of the video, so check that out if you are interested. Otherwise, that is where the Silent Hill 3 Let's Play ends, and I'm just going to let the credits run out here so you can hear the rest of the song, and I will see you in my next video, where we will of course be playing Daikatana. Hope to see you then.
He refused to give in to the town that takes all. Survive, you must have the will. This movie doesn't end the way we want all the time. When he shouts at the moon, she's gone, and fear has overcome. He was walking the mile, he was walking alone. 4 and 20 dead birds, they bleed upon the nest. There was no time for reasons, they had no sign.